Welcome to this third devotional in the series as we've been looking at Psalm chapter 62 this week. And we started by considering this call from the beginning to wait on God or to find trust fully in God to start. It is an active thing to wait. God, who is invisible, as we know, but to wait on something you cannot see is a call of faith to help us. And it's not to wait and look for everything else, but on God alone is what David is telling us. And then we look to, in light of he's doing this, the reason he needs a fortress, a strong tower, a place of salvation, the reason he needs that is because of this enemy, this external force that is threatening or that is attacking him. And we got into the themes of judgment and what judgment looks like, and this cry for God to show up and to be the judge. And oftentimes, this is where we can potentially misunderstand, and this is where I think Jesus quoting the Psalms over and over and over, and the New Testament authors depending on the Psalms so heavily, helps us really understand how this applies to us today and provides strength and encouragement for our souls today. Oftentimes when you're longing for God to be just in a situation, your focus is on your enemies, as David's is here, it can lead to a potential self-righteousness. It can lead to a place where we say we're depending on God, but ultimately we're depending on ourselves because we are seeing the evil that's out there, and it keeps us from seeing sometimes the evil that's inside of our own hearts. But ultimately, what the Psalms are doing is they're pointing us to a place where we can find true rest in God alone in the same way David did, but now we know that is accomplished through the death and the resurrection of Jesus. One of the places I look to when I'm reading the Psalms is this little devotional guide that Kathy Keller and Tim Keller did. It's just called The Songs of Jesus. And they walk through that every day of the week. You can kind of see every day of the week there's a different psalm or a part of a psalm that they will look at. And when they're in Psalm chapter 62, this second half, verse 5 through 8, really, that we spent time looking at yesterday, there's a closing prayer that I want to read for you today. This is a prayer that is helpful to my own life, and I pray that it's helpful to you as you consider what it means to find rest in the finished work of Jesus, that your soul does not have to work because of the work that Jesus has done. So as you battle in your own mind this week, as you may feel threats, as you look to external things that you don't know how they're going to work out, hear the confidence to find rest in God, but to do it specifically in this way. So here's this prayer. Let me read this prayer for us. Lord, the deepest impulse of my heart is to do things to secure your blessing rather than rest in what Christ has done for me. This only makes me anxious and in turn insecure and self-righteous. So teach me to, and then they end up quoting this hymn called It Is Finished. Teach me to do this, to cast my deadly doing down at the feet of Jesus, and stand in him and him alone, gloriously complete. That is their prayer, that you could stand in the finished work of Jesus, who gave his life for you, who overcame sin and death and evil, experienced judgment so we would not have to, and then offers us salvation and rest, a strong tower in which we can rest our souls. That is my prayer as we think of Psalm 62. You would find rest in the finished work of Jesus.